All right, you guys hear the sirens? It was very loud. As soon as I exited out of my apartment building, it started with the noise again. Synchronized noise campaign, illegal tracking, and so forth. And then also the New York Predator Department. My alarm went off this morning, and immediately, right before my alarm went off, they started using their sirens again, waking me up. All right, again, I'm trying to sleep, but these mother effers just, they're sadistic. They have a sadistic mindset, right? And so then I get out of bed using their sirens, sat back down using their sirens. Anything that, in terms of standing up, right? Getting up, being up, right? You're up, right? They'll use their sirens, right? Hey, it is what it is. I talk about the Europeans and also don't quite truly understand what's going on, what's being done, because they want to remain believers instead of having knowledge and understanding. I posted a video on my Facebook page about, the religious right, right? These so-called white nationalists. That's who the religious right is. That's who they are. They're white nationalists, white supremacists. And how they're going after people who don't subscribe to their, to their idea of what an American is, right? Which is white, Christian, white nationalist Christian. And so what they're doing, and I talked about this, not only me, but a lot of us TIs, Whitney Webb, Captain Fitz, Bobby Hemmett, Dr. Phil Valentine's, Bobby Hemmett and Dr. Phil Valentine's are the only two black people that I know, conscious black people, who in the 1990s and early 2000s were talking about microwave frequency weapons, radio wave frequency weapons, right? And while the rest of the conscious community was always debating about African history and African culture, which is fine, and having knowledge of self, which is fine, but when it comes to the technological aspect of what it is that's being done to us, most have no clue. Just as most, Negropeans have no clue, right? And most black people have no clue. Because we don't want to think or believe that such technology exists, right? But it certainly does. And speaking about these things, they'll threaten you. I talk about the coercive threats, trying to take away my disability, or stealing money from my bank account, and so forth, in order to try to silence you, right? It is what it is, right? So how do we prevent them from doing so? Is that we need to, next generation of young black people, we need to go into STEM. Go into the STEM field. Right? Go into the STEM field. Electrical engineers. Right? Mechanical engineers. Right? Computer engineers, computer scientists, physicists, neurologists. Right? Mathematicians, chemists, right? Pharmacists, and so forth. We need to increase the number of black people with those degrees. And we need to increase it exponentially. Because we have been at their mercy, and we will always be at their mercy if we don't understand what it is that they're doing, how they're doing it. And so while they can get you to attack me, Negropeans, I'm telling you what you need to do to protect your children's future, and their children's future, and their children's future. And if you don't listen, right, you will have future generations of people like us back in slavery. And they're going to not want to be free from slavery ever. You want to know why? Because that genetic trait that is pass on to your offspring will make them more susceptible and more at ease with oppression, with a belief system that is meant to do what? Continue to enslave their mind.
Good morning, man. Good morning.
Hey, how you doing, man? Why they? I don't know who the hell that is. But he's looking up my phone. Yeah, he's looking up my phone. So good morning. I tell you, it don't stop. But anyhow, as I was saying, not only are they going to have their mind enslaved, continue to be enslaved, but also their physical body is going to be enslaved again. Because this is ultimately what they want. This is their ultimate agenda for us. You know, I keep saying, you know, when they create certain movies, these movies tell us and show us. Let me see if I can get that bus. Hold up, bus driver. Oh, he's walking around spitting on the floor in front of me. All right, do you mind? Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Right, so, yeah. Good. Right, so get on a week off. Right. Yeah, there's some holidays that we did this. for the individual. What is what you do? Any people that are in church. Is that right? No, it's wrong. No, me too.
That's some gas in the bus.
You're gonna get someone to stay with me, but you don't run back and forth and it's so big and small. I don't like staying by myself, but she said, yes, I know that, but I want something else. You know, I just, I said this to people and I just, and I'm definitely like, that I know, that's why I told her to get there the day again. I said, no, I'm not going to. I'm telling you, when I see the other night, and these people are there like corner. I'm not affecting them too hard, but I'd rather not go through that. It's not like the days when I used to be there, whatever happened that. Now it's when I see when I see them, all those people acting with us now, I don't know about it's not apart from you. And it's like, you are going to work, you have to get out. One day she really work on that. I've been telling you this for a long time. I don't let go of the night. This is my sleep that I can stand on. Especially that's how I'm going to do it. It's like short.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
That's right. So you guys see that? I talk about how they use the color black, right? How they will, all of a sudden they have like put the vehicle in front of the bus with the dollar, they use the dollar van, right? And they use the color black. Remember, all these things, it's all orchestrated to get you to believe something that's not true. It's orchestrated, right? But you remember too, fanatics will do things because they want you to believe it. Religious fanatics or believers will do things because they want you to believe it. And they figure, if we're going to do this to these people every single day until they believe, it ain't never going to happen. right? I mean, they've been trying for over 20 years now, right? It ain't never gonna happen. Okay? This is something that they fundamentally refuse to understand. Because when you only have beliefs, understanding is not within your frame of mind. Right? So when they talk about how you need to believe, you don't need to believe. Why do you need to believe? When you only want to believe, then you're a fool. Right? Only fool believes. That's why there's the song that says only fool believes, or what a fool believes. Because if you only have belief, then you're a fool. You're foolish. When you have knowledge and you come into understanding, not belief. Belief don't give you understanding. Belief gives you delusion and a delusional mindset. And you raise your children to be delusional as well, you're destroying their future. And that's why I say we as black people, we need to get out of that belief system. The Chinese don't believe. All right, China left 800 million people out of poverty, not by belief, right, but by actual knowledge, by educating their people, right, by using the white man's greed against them. And now they have the most skilled workers in the entire world. They have the most educated population in the entire world. It wasn't based on belief. It was based on understanding that white people greed and using their greed against them. What did China says? Come, bring your factories to China. We'll give you cheap labor. And all these greedy corporations, what they do? Move their companies to China, de-skill the American workers, right? That's how China rise.
Shell corp they shit,
Yep, that's why China, right now, the #1 economic power in the world. Right, soon to be the #1 military power in the world. Most educated population. That's right. Because you what? They don't have belief system.
They're 10 years advanced over us. America got the technology, but they don't want to let it go. China's using it. They got the technology, they're using it.
They're more than 10 years ahead, man.
More than 10 years.
I was telling the brother
about
that
25 years ahead, yeah.
I used to work with these Chinese guys, right? Both of them from Hong Kong. But we use the Metro card.
Yeah.
They've been using that shit since the 1980s.
They had that since the 80s, yeah. Digital currency already.
The people that run this nation in the West, they separate themselves from the rest of us. So they use the technology, they're more advanced, their children are more advanced in terms of technology and understanding and knowledge, right? And they give us belief systems, so we're gonna always believe shit. And exactly.
Make money off your dumb belief.
Look at our people, man.
Yeah, when you believe, they can show these people exactly. They don't know.
Our people don't understand that our ancestors is the ones that built great things, that the Europeans were still in the caves. Right, while our people were building, we were light years ahead. We were light years ahead. And then we gave them the knowledge, and they used that knowledge to suppress us.
The Moors, the black nobility. Blame them, man. You know what I'm saying? Put them crackers in position over us.
Well,
Make it make sense. For a small portion.
I can't blame the Moors, because here's what happened, my brother. See, the Moors brought knowledge and understanding to Southern Europe. Right? Taught them how to bathe, how to change clothes during the season, how to rotate their crops.
Mathematics, science.
Mathematics, science. I was a little child watching The Sound of Music. Looking at the windmill in Austria. It was the Moors that created these things.
The Sound of Music,
right? The first university in Europe. It was the Moors that built that.
Exactly.
But they tell us that we don't have a history, we don't build anything. And our people believe it because they gave us a Bible and they say, okay, such and such. Not understanding the concept of the Bible that we use today, where it comes from. It comes from the mind of Europeans. Exactly. It doesn't mind if it mentioned black people in it.
It don't matter.
You got Harry Potter, right? Harry Potter, you got England, you got all these other nations in Harry Potter, but it still comes from the mind of white people. It's still mythology. Myth with historical people, historical land, but it's still myth.
And a little bit historical truth,
right? It's still myth.
Exactly. All that sorcery they're using, it all comes from us. Where do you think it comes from?
It's not sorcery. It's technology.
It's technology. It's all technology. It's all knowledge.
Stop using European terminology. Europeans use these terms to dumb us down.
Exactly.
You understand? They use terms like magic and sorcery and witchcraft. You ever heard people say stop that mumbo jumbo?
Yeah.
But Mumbo Jumbo in Africa was a therapist.
Right.
When you have issues, you go to the therapist, they say go to the Mumbo Jumbo.
Right.
Europeans would always take what's positive in our culture and make it negative and have us.
Just like the word nigga, right?
Right. Because the word nigga comes from the word what? Niger. Niger.
Right.
Niggas. King. Ruler.
Right. Ruler.
Glad you understand that, my brother. Anything that empower us, they will
The
take
white man is
it.
the master of emulation. He takes everything and flip it backwards.
I'm flipping backwards, exactly.
He's the master of emulation. I give him that.
Exactly.
Please exit through the rear door. This stop is Church Avenue and East 42nd Street. Next stop, Church Avenue and New York Avenue. Transfer of Avenue to be 44.
So what is it? This is not homeless Steve. So we're standing over here by the store. As soon as I see the bus, it goes over to the garbage can. You see who's there? You're in front of the department. Like you're saying, they'll use the traffic division. create the condition and the situation, right? Then they will target you based on what it is that they have done. All to get away with non-consensual human experimentation, illegal microchipping. Right? All to get away with it. Not with me. No, they won't. No, they won't.
Please exit through the rear door. This stop is Church Avenue
See
and
how
North
trash they
Avenue.
are. That's how trash they are. Look at this shit. I know, no, there's nothing in there. Look at that. Because they're trash, man. That's what it is. They're trashy. That's who they are. But the trash buckets.
Please exit through the rear
Here,
door.
President Parker.
Next stop, Church Avenue and Nostrum Avenue. Transport
Right there, my
to
consciousness.
2 and 5 train. B35 needed.
A lot of the
B44
traffic.
B44 SDF. This stop is Church Avenue and Nostrum Avenue.
I tell you, whenever they target me and I figure this shit out, they get out there, call me or text me. Over the entire weekend, not one text me.
Good morning.
Please exit through the rear door.
I'll tell you guys what happened when I got
Church Avenue and Rogers Avenue. Transfer is available to B44 SBF and B49.
Another traffic division, look at that.
This stop is Church Avenue and Rogers Avenue. Next stop, Church Avenue and Bedford Avenue. Transfer available to B49. Please exit through the rear door. This stop is Church Avenue and Bedford Avenue.
Thank you, have a good day. All right, so I was talking to the brother about trying to lift 800 million people out of poverty, so they send the Chinese dude there with wearing a red jacket, right? To stand at the corner, then he turns in this direction where, you know, where I'm opposite of how I'm walking. Look, you running all the way down there. Look, you running. look. I tell you, you know, the one thing with religious females' minds is they are the stalkers, the most dangerous stalkers, right? Is women who are religious, because they have the power of what? To use their sexuality and sex to manipulate, to deceive, to destroy men. All right, so this is why cults recruit women, and most women are the members of cults, right? So more women are recruited into cults than men are. So women will always be used as a tool, all right, honeypot, honey trap, whatever you want to call it. All right, who they will use women to manipulate men in many ways. Again, you see the red theme again? You got a white woman. Yeah, she look back at the red truck, right? And there she goes, right there. There you go. See the bombardment, all right? You start to see the bombardment. Okay. Now, wow! Look at how these trees got so green, so fast, right? Look. Same repeater thing. Anyway, as I was saying, bunch of stalkers, man. That's what they do. White supremacists, KKK. A lot of this shit is part of their tactics. All right, go read about it. Go read about the methods the KKK used to stalk black people, and you'll see it used the same tactics and methods. All right, at least some of the same tactics and methods. So on the bus, the woman that came in, and she went to the bus driver, asked for a bus fare. I want you to go look at you look back at this video, right? You'll see how she puts her hands. The whole, put her hands up like she's begging, that sort of thing. Now, when you ask for a transfer on the bus, you don't do that because the bus driver is not going to hand it to you, right? The transfer comes out of the machine. So you have to take the transfer. So again, like I said, understand human behavior, right? If you're a TI, understand human behavior because that is the best way that you can be able to identify, your target and too, also, and to be able to expose it, right? So, like I said, pay attention. Go look at the video for MIT. I think it's MIT, on behavioral, human behavior. It's a free video that's up, talking about and explaining human behavior. And also read about, cognitive warfare theory and methods, right? Game theory within the society. It's a lot. It's a lot of shit that you got to know about, all right? Talk to you guys in this video.